Marty, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
We can talk about Cavalry and the CPL in a moment, but I think we have to talk about the women's national team first. Maybe Steph Labbé. I know she's a person that's personally very close to your team. First off, maybe your reaction to her performance today and the performance of this national team.
I think the guys that know her and had been part of that Foothills group that trained with her, and even in the off season she trains with Santi and Marco, and I don't think anybody's surprised with her performance because she has always been world class as both a player and a personality. We're just proud to know her, I guess. And the way I even sent her a message and said she's now my favorite superhero, and I really mean that because heroes come to save you at the most opportune time, and she's shown that, you know, in the PK shootouts. She's a hero, so we're fortunate to know her.
Kidding. And then again, we'll talk about the CPL in a bit, but the impact of this team on the game in this country, you know, it's already immense going back to 2012 and even beyond that. But maybe the question is, what do you want to see? How do you want to see this, frankly, grow from here in the sport in this country?
Well, I think when you take to the live stage in Olympians or World Cups or Euros and Gold Cups and all these major tournaments have a way of capturing hearts and minds of the next generation. And by doing so, millions of young players have been inspired now by this group of fine young women. And I think it's phenomenal to have that opportunity for them to progress. I think I've said it all along now, is as the game is on the national stage and showing us we've got some great role models, is let's support them domestically. We've got a really great grassroots program for all genders. You know, now we finally got a men's professional side up and running. You know, it has to be the same for the women moving forward. And I think that's just, you know, I speak for everybody, is we would welcome that and support that.
Tommy.
Thank you, Marty. Brendan, we'll go to you next.
Thanks, Paige. I'll piggyback off of Marty's question there and ask, how much does a win like today's in the gold medal match affect even just the atmosphere and the intake that you guys get at Foothills?
I'm not officially. You know, I don't run that program anymore, but one of our assistants, Leon Hapgood, is still the technical director there. And that absolutely, it inspires. You know, I know my son's 11 and he plays, but he will know of Stephanie Labbé, he'll know of Christine Sinclair, and I'm sure he'll know of Juliana Grosso, who scored the winning penalty, and Jessie Fleming. You know, these are names now that become household names. And like I said, I don't use that, you know, superhero quote lightly. They are superheroes, and it's something that every generation should learn to know them, of the people that have blazed the trail before you. And what a fantastic way for Christine Sinclair to, you know, I don't know if she's hanging it up at this point, but what a great way to finish her final chapter and what she's done for this country. And I think we've got to continue to honor that. It also sets a culture for the country that we are a football nation. You know, and we've got to keep supporting that and keep pushing it, and we've got to provide access to the pros and the international scene.
And yeah, just digging into that a little bit further, how does that kind of that kind of win impact the players that come up from the Foothills pathways into a team like Cavalry, or that go on to play collegiate and then professional on the women's side? Yeah,
definitely. Listen, it's. I think there's a great book out there called The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle, and he talks about why countries have these ignition switches. So you think of Brazil, why they produce so many fantastic football players, because every corner you turn, whether it's on the beach or in the streets or on the TVs in the sports bars, there's football. You know, why does Kenya have so many long distance runners? You know, the geography of it, the social and economic background, and they see people running from here to there, and they do it. Jamaican sprinters, there's an influence behind it, and I think now we're having an influence of a gold medal winning team being the best in the world, best female team in the world, capturing the women's gold medal. I think that's something that now as a country is saying, we are amongst the best. And I think that then inspires us all to do better, because we want our CPL teams to qualify for CONCACAF and compete and look to win it. And it transcends through all of it. And then as the kids and the youth players, more and more will maybe start choosing soccer. It's the number one played sport. And from that, you look now, the owners of the CPL, how many stadiums and training centres are being built. You look now, even in Calgary, there's more and more turf pitches and facilities being built in the communities that there were when I moved here almost 20 years ago. The influence is happening, and it's a number one played sport for a reason, and now it's up to us to think like champions as well.
Appreciate it, Tommy. I'll throw it back into the room before I take another question here.
Okay.
Great, thank you, Brandon. Yeah, Marty, we can come back to you if you'd like.
Sure, we can talk a bit about the game. About William and Victor. So we're doing a feature on them just before the game. Obviously, they scored in the same day in the bubble, which was crazy. Can you talk a little bit about their rise together in Calgary? And you have a bit of experience with them, I'm told.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I've coached them at different times. Never coached them together or against each other. So it's a new scenario for me. You know, Victor came through. You know, Willie came through the blizzards and then the foothills environment. He was with my dad first, and then he come across, and we used him in our under-23 team, and he ended up being part of the national championship winning side of 2018. Continued with his university scholarship in the NCAA to finish off before he hit the pros. And credit to him, he's got an education behind him. He's a likable personality. He's got lightning pace, and he's always a goal threat. And if it's not against us, I'm always happy for him to do well. And when he scored on the same night, same thing. Seen him around the hotel and congratulated him for doing that, because that's a special moment. And I said to Victor prior to our game, because we were at the same field afterwards, he said, I said, now your brother's done it. I said, what a night it'd be for your family if you did it. And he did. Victor's a terrific player. The whole family, there's 2 or 3 other players in that family that are coming through as well that are just great footballers. They love the game. It's in their blood. Every time I turn around, between drills, Victor's got a ball at his feet. He's just, we've got to keep him patient, got to keep him on track. He's going to be a hell of a player. And they're both good kids.
Kidding. Can you speak a little bit about the family? I know they came from South Sudan, and these players again. Yeah, I've also heard there's at least 2 more brothers or something that could come through. Talk a little bit about the family in Calgary.
Yeah, do you know what? I think this just shows the strength and unity of Canada. Canada's a great big melting pot. I'm an immigrant to this country and have been welcomed and adopted, and I think that they would feel the same, having known a small part of their family. Very thankful for the opportunity they've got here, and in credit to them, they're grabbing it with both hands. Victor's studying at Mount Royal as well as combining it with his professional soccer experiences. Willie's done the same, and their younger brothers, playing at Foothills as well, and he's another one on the radar that it's a great avenue for them, but they're smart enough to get an education. So I think they're great examples of the pathway and the system and the well-being that Canada offers.
I'll just grab one more, just quickly previewing the game. Your thoughts on Valour so far? Obviously a great start in Winnipeg, your first time taking them on.
Just listen, there's no surprise to me how well they're doing. Rob Gale's a fantastic coach. I've known Rob for a long, long time, and he's always had good players in the last couple of years, but something's never seemed to click. And I think he's done a fantastic job using the home field advantage. They got 8 extra home games than everyone else, and he made it count. And I think that's good coaching. You've got to use the leverage of your advantages. They've built a very, very fast side going forward, a nice technical team. I think they're having a bit of a struggle now because going on the road is different. As we learned at Pacific, it's a hard place to go and get points. They've gone back-to-back defeats, and I'm pretty sure that that's a tough thing for them to swallow, and they're looking to have a rebound against us. And it's up to us now to impose our game on our home field against them, like they have when they had their home field advantage.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you, Marty. Brandon, if you have another question, we'll let you go ahead.
Thanks, Paige. I just wanted to follow up on the post-match from any updates on Joe DiChiara. I'll specify this time.
Yeah, he's just got a minor hamstring strain. It's nothing major, but it's now we've got to be precautionary with him because it is the thing. It's a long season, and for us, we've said all along, it's not how we start this race; it's how we finish it. We've had the best points total of any team in the league, but everyone just remembers what you do in the playoffs. So we've got to just manage our squad, make sure we don't force them, and just when they have tightness, we bring them out and next man up.
And I presume, based on that answer, that you don't really have any updates on any of the other guys on the injury list?
No, Nick Ledgerwood and Anthony Novak returned from suspension, but no other ones other than them at this point.
Perfect, thanks. Good luck with the next one, Tommy.
Thank you, Brandon.